Well, hey, good day, everyone. I want to talk for a moment about you must do something. You must do something. What does that mean exactly? Like lots of times when we have an intent, when we have a vision, something that is calling our soul, we know we want to go to this place, whatever that thing is. But this is what we desire in life, right? And of course, that desire is generating from here. Sometimes along that path, we know what we want, but we don't exactly know how to get it. Now, the how is, in the larger scheme of things, the responsibility of the divine nature itself, of the universe, of God, however you term that. You yourself cannot orchestrate all of the things that are needed, right? You simply are responsible for generating what that desire is, putting that frequency out there, and then allowing the universe, the quantum field, God, to meet the match for that frequency that you're putting out so that it can bring those things to you, i.e., can orchestrate how this desire that you have comes into being, comes into manifestation. But here's the important part that a lot of people miss in this. Even though the how in the larger scheme of things is not your responsibility, you still must do something. You must do something. In order to reach that intent, that desire that you are generating out there, you need to do something towards that. You need to take an action. So you can make all the decisions that you want in your mind, say, this is what I desire, and it's what? You're going to sit in your chair and just say, okay, everything's just going to be delivered to my front door like Amazon. Well, the problem is with Amazon, you had to take an action, right? You knew what you wanted. You had to go in there, find it, and click deliver so it could show up at your door. The universe doesn't necessarily work like Amazon in that capacity. It requires you to do something. The universe, the quantum field, will do its part, but you have to do something. Sometimes we don't know what that something is. So that's where you have to breathe. That's where you have to go within. That's where you have to say, okay, I know that I desire this. It could be a thing. It could be a relationship. It could be an experience, whatever that is. And you also know that you are allowing white space, as I like to call it, for the universe, for the quantum field to bring this in, for the law of attraction to work on your behalf. And yet, even in that, you still need to be taking some steps toward that intent, toward that desire. And it's not about just taking any step that comes into being. It's looking at, what can I do here? Now that I know that I want this, now that I know I desire this, what can I do to help get my mind set around this, to help further this frequency that I'm putting out there, that I'm generating about what I want and what I desire? What can I do that is active engagement, where I am actively engaged, which sends even more information and emboldens that frequency even more for the universe to help bring you what you need? And don't worry about making a wrong decision. If you start moving in a certain path towards that desire and it doesn't feel right, just change course along that. I'll give you an example from my own life right now, is that this apartment has been absolutely wonderful for me. And it is my place of peace, my place of solitude. It has given me the opportunity to build some things in my life that I had always desired and was working towards. And yet at the same time, I recognize it has come to its fulfillment. And that does not mean I'm going to exit tomorrow. That means what is beyond this apartment. Now that it has fulfilled so many desires for me in the ways that it can, and it's really reached its maximum potential, what is next for me? Well, a house. I want to go back to a house and some land, like I've talked about for a while, And when that comes up for me, there's a lot of old conditioning and old things and resistances that come up for me in regards to that, based on previous experiences in my life with a house and with the relationship that I was in at those times of my life. And so that resistance can make me just want to stay, I'll just stay here. It's just safer to stay here. But no, the desire is, my knowing is, this place has fulfilled its purpose and it will continue to fulfill its purpose. But in the meantime, I am also going to start generating and looking at what are the resistances that I have to those things concerning a house. And I'm going to write those questions down. I'm going to jot out the answers that come through, the feelings that come up, the thoughts that come up. I also, the other day, just thought, another great way to help me wrap my arms around this, to kind of get into the feeling of what does this feel like again. And while I'm working at this, to give my body the opportunities to be in different houses and see what it feels like and see what comes up. Because when I'm in those places and feelings and whatever come up, then it gives me the opportunity to work with them, right? So one of the actions that I'm going to do, one of the somethings that I'm going to do is, I've already put the desire out there. Now I'm going to go around and I'm going to look at open houses. And for the most part, it's not really going to matter what kind of an open house I go to. It's just going to help prime the pump for me to go into a place that is different than an apartment, to look at the things and to recognize what comes up within me. I had the opportunity to go to a house the other day and walk around and be shown around in this house. And all I could think was, it just keeps going. There's more rooms than I expected. There's way more closets. There's shelves everywhere. And I'm sitting there picturing how great it would be to have a library with all of these built-in shelves that were there. And there's also the feelings that come up of, that's a lot of responsibility. Sure, okay, but what's there, right? And that's a clue for me to go inside and say, why does it feel so heavy? Why does it feel like a responsibility? So there's these really good parts of the energetic spectrum that are there, right? The excitement, the possibilities, and there's these other pieces that are there. It's like, there's some resistance here that I can feel. But it's me doing something. And so I'm going to start going around to some different open houses and different things just to help say, this is part of the intent. This is part of my desire. Let's continue to move forward in this. This goes back to, again, you must do something. You must do something in order to assist and help the magic that is happening. You put your desire out there, you put your intent out there, and then you focus on that, have your attention focused on whatever that intent or that desire is, and allow the quantum field to start doing its work. And then you also come alongside that, and you're doing your own work with it. just emboldening and amplifying that frequency that you're putting out for your desire and your want, that is where the magic occurs. That's all I have for you today. Blessings and love, my friends.